up, everybody? Welcome to Waypoints Media Club, your place for reviews, discussions on all things movies, video games, and TV shows. Today, we are going to be discussing Marvel's What If, Episode 5, Zombies, as they titled it. Well, what? There was an exclamation point, there was a question mark. That's how I read it.
I loved for this one, they were like, fuck it, there's no question.
It's not just what if zombies? I actually heard the beta title was just zombies and then the eye emoji. I know I usually ask. Oh, sorry. Joining me today is Jim Tasty, aka Brett Jamerson.
What's up, everybody?
We have my other half of the Orphan Gamers, Larry and Jess. And a rare appearance on Media Club, we've got some other Josh.
Today's episode of Media Club, Josh? Question mark?
Josh.
You know?
I think we should make that the title, actually.
Works for me.
I know I usually ask you guys what you thought about it first, but I just want to give the weirdest review I'm ever going to give anything. Whereas I loved every single moment of this episode, but I don't
Same
like
here.
the episode. If that makes sense. Like, it's not cohesive. Like, I liked everything they did.
Who can never make a fucking decision in his life about whether or not he likes things.
No. Like,
all of it was great, but I hated it all put together.
Moment to moment, I really enjoyed it. It's just not a cohesive episode, really. But what did you guys think?
I will give this episode a pass because I don't love zombie stuff to begin with. I used to be really into The Walking Dead, but like the logic of zombie stuff like just doesn't always compute with my brain because I always feel like there either has to be a cure or everybody has to die and there is no middle ground. And so like it's not something I seek out. They also scare the shit out of me. But I'm terrified. The part of the reason I stopped watching The Walking Dead was because they scare me. And
They
like,
legitimately
them.
scare you.
It's gross. The little like muscle sinews holding on freak. I'm not about that shit. But yeah, it was fine. Again, it feels like we're getting like little scenes from a movie, but not the whole movie.
Right.
Yeah. And I feel like that goes with why I didn't like it as an episode. It's like so much happened that none of it got a chance to breathe. And I feel like as a whole, that's been the biggest issue with the show. Like I don't even need these episodes to be 45 minutes to an hour. If each of these episodes just had 10 more minutes in them between things, I think I would like them a lot more.
Right.
Really quick, I do have to say though that Jordan watched this episode when it dropped, and I was still up, so I saw that he tweeted they mentioned you and then a bunch of asterisks B and a bunch of asterisks canon. And because it was zombies,
mentioned.
Either way.
I said
I
they
thought you
finally
made it
mentioned
canon.
you, ***, B, ***.
Either way, for 20 minutes I was trying to figure out how, because I didn't immediately go Uncle Ben. My brain went, I assumed that this was the episode we were getting Scott's head, so that we'd have Ant-Man and Wasp characters, and I was trying to figure out what you were writing, that who flew up whose ass or into whose mouth and blew who up to make that canon. And then he has that line where he's like, my mom, my dad, Uncle Ben, and I was like, oh, I'm a dumbass. Like, I'm a fucking idiot.
I mean, they have the BFP on Peter's suitcase in Far
Yeah,
From Home,
they've given us sprinkles of Uncle Ben.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But Brett, Josh, what did you guys think?
Brett, do you want to go first?
Yeah. Kind of like Lear, and I came out of it liking it a lot. And there's a bunch of moments throughout the episode that I liked, but there's also a bunch of moments that kind of had my head scratching, and then just general this was the first episode where I was like, wait, why did they do this instead of this? A couple logic things that I usually have I usually don't notice, but this episode I did notice, and that kind of was interesting. Okay, I know the general vibe of the show is kind of it's not too serious as much as other shows in the MCU, but overall I still liked it. A lot of A lot of cool things. I like I like zombie, like, you know, you're going on like a one-way trip and you're trying to survive and super important mission. Like I always like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What about you, Josh?
Yeah, I'm a huge sucker for some zombie stuff, of course, like the Fatigue, like peak like 2013. But I still enjoy it, and just that mixing with the Marvel universe was super cool to see. I mean, I did get high and like went to a comic book store last week and like read a zombie Marvel manga, so like I was already prepared for
Oh, so
this
you didn't
episode.
read
I was
like the actual Marvel What If Zombies comic? Because
no,
this is based off an actual issue of What If, but it deviates a lot from what I've read.
well, I read the manga version, and then my friend I was with was like, "Oh, you know, this is an actual thing, right?" And pointed me to this direction, and so like seeing it actually play out as a show, I really enjoyed. I liked the setting for the story too, because I didn't really know where in the timeline this would be set, and I like right at the beginning of Infinity War was like a pretty cool choice, I thought, and I love having Bruce Banner be Rick Grimes, like coming down to Earth and basically waking up and being like, "What the fuck is
happened?
happening?"
So
Exactly.
I originally didn't like that it was gonna be during Infinity War, but as the episode went on, I was like, actually, no, I'm liking this because everybody kind of knows each other.
Right.
I need a series now where the Hulk just bites someone's ear off to stop somebody from getting assaulted. Just bites in and rips it off.
Wait, does Rick Grimes do that?
Yes.
Like
yes.
Mike Tyson?
The woman who plays Michonne is on the ground about to be
Assaulted.
Yes. And so is his son by a different guy. And he's being pinned to a car with a knife to his neck, and he can't do anything except bite. So he bites this guy's neck, rips a chunk out, and spits it out. And it's really weird.
I mean, it would have been weirder if he swallowed.
Crazy. That scene is so stressful just because that's happening. Michonne is screaming in the background. Carl's freaking the fuck out.
Right.
Like, everybody's just yelling. And I need it with just that part with Bruce Banner.
Yeah, I slowly got sold on it taking place during Infinity War, but the one thing that's been bugging me all day is that this shit all went to hell in 2 weeks.
Basically. And then another thing about the Infinity War connection too is that tease at the end, like with Thanos and having like all the stones, and I was like, you motherfuckers, you're not gonna do it, but I would love this to be a 2-part like overarching series where either they cure everyone or everyone dies, like Liaren mentioned, but like just that little bit of Thanos was enough of a tease. It's like, motherfuckers, you have like 4 more episodes of this, like do a 2-part arc, please.
Someone pointed out, they were like, wait, so the Hulk can't get bitten, but Thanos with 5 out of the 6 stones can?
And like, what's his end goal? What's his goal now?
That's the thing. Their consciousness still seems to be there because he still seems to be going after the last stone. Like,
no, but why would he want to eliminate half the population? You're all zombies now. The problems that were happening beforehand no longer exist.
Well,
at least on Earth. I feel like you could take them and leave and be like, Earth doesn't, I don't need to worry about it.
It's weird. It's like their consciousness is not fully there, but like, it's kind of like they're a dog. They're like, I know what to do, but that's all I can focus on right now. Because like, Wanda kind of understood. She did not want anyone to hurt Vision.
Right.
But other than that, like, not really there. And I don't know if we want to talk about that for a few minutes, because Jesus Christ.
Well, Brett just finished saying his views. I have no brain cells left. None. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that made WandaVision look like a walk in the park.
Did not like she hasn't fed in days or whatever the fuck Vision said.
She
like,
hasn't eaten in days.
Creepy.
Yeah. Really weird that Scott Lang gets a pass and gets to be a jar in a head, but T'Challa's being like chopped up and like fed to Wanda.
Apparently,
like what the fuck?
Apparently, in the actual comic, which I don't know the full context of the comics. I don't know how much of their mind is still there when they're zombies, but apparently, Hank or Reed Richards, the people on Reddit were saying both. Were keeping Black Panther as like a secret snack to feed on while they worked on a cure.
Secret snack.
That was the wording I got. Like they were like, "Oh no, we're working on a cure," and secretly they're just eating T'Challa.
Yeah, from the leg up.
Was that in the manga too, Josh? Since you just recently read it?
I just skipped through it honestly, and I was already high, but like reading right to left was like already too much. So like on
Oh my
top of
god, I
being
can't
high, like
imagine.
I
Fair-
didn't get through
fair
much.
point.
I just looked for the panels.
I can't imagine being high trying to read a manga. Okay, so I'm trying to find this limited run because I don't think, from what I found, oh god, fuck that noise. From what I found, it wasn't based on the What If. It's based on the Marvel Zombies miniseries,
Oh, okay.
not the What If Marvel Zombies.
Gotcha, because those are two separate things.
Yes, and she said it was a no-brainer. Of course, they had to do it.
So I mean, if you want to look that up, while we can just like maybe
It's a limited comic series consisting of 5 issues written by The Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman with art by Sean Phillips. It was published between 2005 and 2006, and its narrative is set up in an alternate universe. A virus comes to Earth that infects its superheroes. The idea came from a crossover event in the Ultimate Fantastic Four, where the Ultimate Reed Richards is tricked into opening a portal into the undead universe by his zombie variant.
God damn it, Reed.
Reed Richards is the fucking worst.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Because one of them involves the X-Men, because Wolverine pops out of the ground like a fucking monstrosity, like ready to go with his claws, and it's not fun.
Wait, can Wolverine turn into a zombie or like no? Because
yes,
he can
in this alternate universe. Yes.
Okay.
There is a zombie Wolverine pop. Like he has an arc in that. Like he's got a whole thing going on.
I feel like he'd be the scariest zombie. Not gonna lie.
100%.
Zombie with claws. Like yeah.
with adamantium claws. Not just like, oh, it's a bear, but a zombie. But yeah, I mean, I kind of want to go beat by beat because like I said, I enjoyed every scene by itself. Just watching it as an episode, I'm like, this is going so many different places at once. And I think that's kind of like what it is. I enjoy the material, but I can objectively look at this and be like, this isn't written well or paced well.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so we start, Bruce, just like in the beginning of Infinity War, crashes down, except this time no one's there.
Right.
Goes out. Clovius grave.
I don't know. They're all just generic.
Squidward, and then Walmart brand the Thing. You know.
Yeah. Squidward, the big thing, and then there's Proxima Midnight, who's married to Squidward. Yes. She's the only woman in the group.
Why did I think she was married to the third man we haven't mentioned yet?
I didn't know there was a third man. There's 4 of them.
The Black Order's 4.
They all look the same.
That's
they
racist.
They all look identical, except for the big one.
Anywho, so, you know, it's kind of like Infinity War. Wong, Strange, Tony are there, but they're zombies. They start going after Bruce. Also, VIP, as always in Marvel, is the cloak. The cloak is just always there when you need a hand. Or a body in Scott's case.
Yes.
And then
I love that part wasn't a discussion. They just kind of both agreed this was the new form. It's his head and then the cloak.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Which seeing that I absolutely loved. Like that cracked me up. Like it was fantastic.
Yeah. And then we get Peter rescuing Bruce in so Tom Holland was the only person that did not voice his actual character, but the guy who voiced him was pretty damn good. So props to him. Mm-hmm. I will say, whoever drew him did not know what Tom Holland looked like.
Well, I feel like this is a Sony thing where they're like, you can't
use his likeness. So they're just
exactly.
Yeah, so they're just kind of like white dude, brown hair. That's Peter Parker. Yep.
Basically,
I mean...
and they're like giving them the outfit that you see them in like Avengers Campus. Like they're
was
definitely like trying not to like impede too much on the Sony stuff. So like, because I imagine like if you would have called Tom Holland and you're like, yo, you want to do a zombie Marvel episode? He would have
had a fucking field day with that. And then we
Right.
get one of his famous video diaries describing the rules of the
Oh.
zombie apocalypse, which again,
I love that
I
so
love
much.
that.
I hated that.
I want
Honestly,
I
the
want
only
Happy's
notes I
shirt.
wrote was, this is stupid.
It's so Zombieland though. Like
I
that.
Yeah.
know it is, but like that was the thing, is I couldn't figure out if I'm supposed to be getting like Walking Dead vibes here or Zombieland. Like, how serious is
That
this?
was, I think that's why I didn't like this as a package, but I liked each individual scene. They kept slipping in too many jokes in what I thought was going to be a legitimately dark episode.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so is this trying to be horror or horror comedy? Because you could keep it horror comedy, but the second we got to Wanda, I was like, there's no comedy in this anymore.
This isn't fun.
This shit ain't funny. Yeah, exactly.
When Kyle Lang was saying one-liners when
Dad
Yeah,
jokes.
making
Yeah.
dad jokes. Is
when that dude, the
it was
guy
too
from
much.
Ant-Man was getting eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever,
dude.
like-
Yeah.
Yeah.
In which having Baba Yaga Man back was a pleasant surprise,
It
and
was.
I was all for it, dude. And when
Especially
he shows up,
yeah.
when he shows up in the video, like it's fantastic.
And he went, Baba Yaga, oh, you know, the witch. And then Wanda was there. We're like, oh, Baba Yaga to him is real right now.
Right.
He looked great. The art for him was fantastic.
Weirdly
yeah.
accurate.
Yeah, like it looked really good. Like, because
Mhm.
I don't like the way they draw hair on this show because it falls in
Same.
clumps, and that's a personal pet peeve of mine.
But his is
Um,
kind of like that.
No, but his was just smooth and looked nice. It was moving nice. It was Sharon Carter's hair was fucking terrible, and it distracted me the entire fucking
Yeah.
episode because her hair was falling in like these weird chunks. Which, like, if you're gonna do it, you got to make it look. Do that. You got to make it look dirty where it would
Yeah.
fall like that. And we
Bucky.
weren't-
Bucky's looked luscious.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Now that he's not in like World War II and he's like actual Bucky, like how we've seen him in Infinity War, like he looked fantastic this episode. I was all
Yeah.
about it.
I also appreciated that Bucky did what he needed to do, did not give a fuck that the zombie was Steve, and cut him in half. Bucky
Yes.
understands.
Well, that's the thing. That was like one of the small things where like we don't know like in this universe how many interactions they've had with each other as like zombie Steve and Bucky, but like when he like kills him and then says like a one-liner, it was kind of like, okay, like this was like your best friend and you're like cracking jokes while you slice him in half.
Here's
like,
the thing. I usually argue with Leon on like Steve's obsession and how he acts in Winter Soldier / Civil War. I think that there is a big leap between brainwashed and turned into a zombie. Like
I'm just saying there wasn't even a moment of hesitation, and I appreciate that. It is
Right.
the main thing I enjoy about Bucky Barnes is he doesn't hesitate. He just does his thing, and I can appreciate.
But again,
that.
there's a few ladders in between those two
Steve
things.
Rogers, if Steve Rogers was looking at a Bucky Barnes zombie, he would have waxed poetic for 5 minutes before throwing the shield. And like, I don't need that shit. No one else needs this. Come
Steve
on.
would have done what Vision did. Like Steve would have like locked him up and to have him as a boy toy and like probably fed
Josh
T'Challa's
has
leg.
to be on every
Right-
podcast
right
now
to him.
because Josh understands. Josh gets it.
Thank you.
Well,
thank
the
you.
whole-
I try.
Steve is kind of a wimp.
The whole thing with the episode was they were trying to get the cure and they were like killing some of their friends that they didn't need to, in the sense of like just kick him out of the train car and let him, you know.
It's too risky with
Right.
zombies, though.
At
Yeah.
that point, I understood them killing just because
Mhm.
they're not positive that this group has a cure yet. And so I feel like if I unfortunately had to be in that situation, I'd be like, I
Mhm.
could save you, but that just could cause me problems further down the line because I could be going into like a horde of murderers.
Like if
I don't
Tony,
know, it's
if
fucking
Tony was
weird.
still alive, he could have invented like a cage or something to trap, like basically a Pokeball but for zombies and human sized. You know, like you just throw it and then the nanotech grows around you and you're immobilized. And he's like, until we find a cure, you're just like this.
As for these
No,
guys,
but
they
the
just
Avengers
don't
went
care.
down. Oh, sorry, Josh.
No, it's all good.
But yeah, no, the Avengers went down like little bitches.
The Avengers went down like little bitches. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Further proving 2 points that we already knew. One, Hank, you know, kind of caused this problem all over again. And then two, man, dude, Ant-Man, like in the like, they're scary powerful. Like the fact that he
Right.
zipped him and bit Captain
Mhm.
America in the neck when they were doing
Yeah.
their hero poses. Like,
Yeah, literally 2 episodes
Right.
so far have just been, it's been Hank Pym all along.
Literally. But I love Hope.
okay,
I
yeah.
if we got to see it all the time, I love Hope.
Okay,
Love it.
like Hope
She was
and
great.
Peter's dynamic was very cute.
Yeah.
A lot of sexual tension there, and I was just gonna
What?
bring that up. One of my biggest notes of this episode, and one thing I needed to touch on, lots of sexual tension between Hope and Peter Parker, which is like, the cape's a good look for you. You'll grow into it. I was like, oh my god, dude, she is like, Scott's like been gone 2 days, and she's already like flirting. And then yeah, like I literally like 15 minutes before this, like she's on her deathbed, and they're still like having a cutesy little conversation, like lots of just like.
I took it
Sexual
as
tension.
like a motherly role, considering he,
Oh,
like he
no.
said, he lost his parents, his uncle, his mentor, and now his aunt. Like
I went right over me. No, it's all sexual, dude. I'm sorry.
you are the person that Freud thinks about.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a
Yes.
question. Why did Happy only get that Civil War Iron Man hand pulse blaster?
Yeah, that's great.
Give him
because,
two.
like,
Give him two. Give him at least
Yeah.
2 of them.
Like
Yeah.
the suits were fitted to Pepper, even in Iron Man 3.
Right.
Yeah.
But even the nanotech could wrap around.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that was the whole point of when he handed it to Steve. Like you could just
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird, but I did like him saying blam,
Blam,
with
blam,
the weapons,
yeah.
blam, blam, and then like his conscience still there. Like he says blam one last time before just eating it, and then yeah, Peter's reaction to Happy going like, I don't know, it was
Very
like
casual.
Yeah. Same with, well, you expect it with Bucky and Sam because they have that dynamic. But also like the performances, just like these are like really good actors, but they're really bad in animation. So like
The pro-
when Bucky was like saying whatever about Sam, like I was like, oh dude, you just don't care. like Sebastian
Yeah.
Stan is just cashing in a check at this point.
the thing that
Yeah, we talked about that in the Peggy Carter episode though too. Is that like Sebastian Stan was struggling a little bit with the voice acting.
he doesn't know how to use a
100%.
microphone. Yeah.
100%. It's like when they hire a like a tier celebrity for a video game, and you're like, man, you really just got him for like the name, but he's doing a terrible job in this role. Like,
Yeah.
which
Peter
is this entire
Dinklage.
show.
Peter
Peter,
Dinklage.
yeah, 100%. Peter
Peter
Dinklage as
Dinklage.
yeah, where
Phenomenal
like he's-
actor, voice
Yeah.
actor.
Wait, what game
uh,
is Peter Dinklage in?
And he was the original Ghost in Destiny, and
Yeah.
he fell
Oh.
so flat that like 2 years later they changed it to
To
Nolan
Nathan-
North. Like,
Nolan
Yeah.
North. Okay, well, I think it was Nathan
Yeah.
Fillion.
Did I know a video
Ye-
game fact that Jordan didn't know?
boom.
I remember
This
hearing
is the only
voice.
one, guys. This is the
Yeah.
only time.
What if Lee Aaron was a bigger gamer than Jordan?
Josh, I mostly play a GameCube, but let's not
I
get too
know.
excited here.
Listen, we're all gamers. There's no bigger or smaller,
True.
except mobile
I
gamers.
am a worse
Fuck you.
gamer than all of you. Like, we can say it. I'm not.
No,
offended.
I'm not talking skill. I'm talking like the real games in here.
100%.
Anyway, the thing about Peter when Happy died is they tried to make it dramatic, but like 3 seconds later, he's like, okay, I'm gonna keep pulling this train. Which, like, I get, like, hey, mission comes first, but
Yeah.
it was just awkward and be like, not happy.
Yeah.
Like, again, give everything 5 more seconds to breathe, and it will all
Yeah.
collectively add up to 10 minutes and feel better. And because like I like a lot of the premises that they're giving us, and I like the concept behind this show. I really hope next season the episodes are a tad bit longer.
Right. Brett, you had something to.
Yeah, what happened to Hank Pym? Because like he literally turned like the tide of the whole zombie infection.
He got
in terms
bitten
of
by
getting-
Janet.
No, in
Yeah.
terms he got the Avengers, and that was like the thing that kind of really turned the tide of the apocalypse. But then like we don't see him anymore. Like
He's
I didn't-
just
I didn't
somewhere
really
living
know.
his zombie lifestyle. You know.
Yeah.
that was like it's like man, if you can do that to bite people, it's like
Well, Hope actually locked him up in the basement of the building and is like feeding him, the
And
Michael Pena's character from.
I was gonna say Bobby Cannavale's character.
gosh.
he's just
Everyone-
telling a story as they're cutting off his leg. You know.
Exactly.
Oh, man, this is
everyone
crazy.
in this. Everyone in this universe just locks up their loved one and just feeds them somebody else. In
How
this one,
how did Iron Man get bit? How did Iron Man get bit?
They just all went down. Okay,
They
I don't
overpowered
understand this either because he jumped, but he's got the thing on.
he's got a full nanotech suit on.
Yeah,
Why-
like,
why-
I don't
why
understand
up?
how they got through it.
Maybe it
That's
was
my
maybe it was
question.
Hank Pym again. Maybe it was Hank
Right.
Pym.
similar to
Yeah.
like Civil
Yeah.
War. And,
Yeah.
like, Shrek
Went
and
inside the
Shoot.
chute.
They
Yeah.
also glossed like they're very I'm very confused as to whether or not Civil War happened in this universe, because they say the
Yeah.
Avengers came down and you see Tony and Cap there, T'Challa's with them, but it's so
They're all
heavily
buddies.
implied that Bucky spent time in Wakanda as well, because he has the vibranium arm, he recognizes
Right.
T'Challa. Yeah.
It could be
I
the
didn't
thing.
pick up on this.
There's going to be a part 2 to this episode.
God, I hope so.
Because
Wait,
they
really?
released a Black Widow. They released Zombie Hunter Black Widow a pop a couple days ago, and I just realized we didn't see that. She's got like really short hair and is all dirty, and her suit's fucked up. I'm trying to find the picture.
And it was part of the What If line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I sent it to you guys because I was like, I'm really excited for this, and then
Okay.
just
Yeah.
realized that
Yeah.
we didn't get that. So I feel like somewhere we're getting.
So I think at this
more.
point it's
Right.
pretty accepted that at some point these episodes are crossing over, because someone did a thing about like the scene we've seen a lot of the promos where it's like that circle scene from Avengers 1, but we see like T'Challa, Star-Lord, we see Gamora and Thanos' armor in the background. You could see the cape of Dark Doctor Strange's cape. So maybe we do get an Endgame version of this.
That would be cool if the finale all connects like everything together in a nice way.
It could be that that's what they're fighting in the final. No, because I think everyone is assuming that if they're connecting, the thing they're fighting is Ultron with the Infinity Stones.
Which that can't happen now because it can't be related to the zombie universe because Vision's a sociopath in there. Like Ultron's not in that body.
He was
Actually, Ultron might be in that body.
Yeah.
Is
It
there a
was
way to mark a photo as a spoiler on Discord?
Not on Discord mobile, but on
Me-
Discord.
If you do that
Just send it in voice chat, and after we all look at it, delete it.
Okay.
I don't have to look at it on
Because I did find it.
Because if I look at it on here, it'll mess up the whole recording.
Okay,
All
I
on
just
the
sent it in voice
reaction
chat.
though. I feel like no one's gonna care if they see it.
also too, the survivors had a base of buses in the middle of New York, and like Iron
that
Man
was smart.
Zombie, well, Iron Man zombie and Doctor Strange zombie and Wong zombie.
Yeah, like couldn't they get up there?
Yeah, they could just.
I think the protection was more from the zombie, like all the zombies, than just those three.
Yeah.
Also,
Right.
zombies are dumb. It's like if they don't see you, like they don't care.
Are they? Because they
Yeah.
had Squidward in the big one pretty quickly.
They had the tactic to do the portal, and it's like they were.
Yeah,
a little bit
yeah.
there.
It's weird because like I went into this episode like zombies are dumb, but like I knew it was the zombie episode, and as soon as the portal opens and like Iron Man's going for the head and just blasts like Squidward's head off, I was like, oh, okay, so they're all like somewhat conscious, but also like still capable of using their superpowers. Like Falcon, Hawkeye is just nailing these shots against Sharon. Like it's weird.
But it's like they're not fully conscious, but like they understand a basic goal that they want to achieve. It's why I said like they're kind of like dogs.
Right.
Yeah.
And plus they all.
Oh,
Go
Call
ahead, Brett.
Obsidian. Call Obsidian's the big dude.
Okay.
Okay.
Corvus Glaive is the other like.
Corvus Glaive
That's
is that's
the one
Squidward.
married to Proxima Midnight.
Yeah. Ebony Maw is.
Oh, Ebony
Is-
Maw
is
Squidward.
Is
Yes,
Ebony Maw.
Right.
there'll be a
But-
test.
Yeah, I'm convinced that we're getting a follow-up episode just because of this. Her costume's all ripped up. She's all dirty.
But this just
I
says
love
post-apocalyptic. It doesn't say zombie hunter.
I think we're getting a follow-up to this, though.
It could be in season 2. It could be in
Don't
no, it's
get
a
my
pop
hopes
that's
up.
coming up around now.
Don't get my hopes up. If next week's episode is like, you know, how the Hulk couldn't get it up or something like that, like I'm gonna be like super.
Hey, he's not supposed to get it up. Haven't you seen Edward Norton's Hulk? He will turn into the Hulk if he gets a boner.
The Hulk get a boner. That means Bruce Banner can't get a boner. It doesn't say that the Hulk can't get a boner.
Fair.
Like,
So it better be like
I'm just-
zombies question mark part 2.
I'm just imagining Infinity War when he can't Hulk out, but like. That.
But like him getting hot and heavy.
I
with,
want
like,
the same
his
back and
scar
forth
down.
where he's just like,
But
what do
like-
you mean no? But he's
like-
looking
Come
at his
on,
crotch.
big guy, come
Yeah, but
on.
like with the below half, you know, it's like shit, you know, turned in shades.
okay, this is the nitpickiest thing on the planet, but So Bruce crashes into the fucking thing and like all that shit and's like, pops his little head out and's like, does anyone have any clothes? And like the cape goes and gets him clothes. He comes
Right.
out with one of those shirts on. I'm like, okay. Then he lifts his hand and he's wearing fingerless gloves. And I went, why was that necessary to stop and put on fingerless gloves? Because in your brain, you're waiting for Thanos to come to Earth. You don't know about
Right.
the zombies yet. You're waiting for Thanos to come to Earth. You assume that when Thanos comes to Earth, you're going to have to fight, so you're going to turn into the Hulk, so the gloves are just going to rip anyway. So what was the point of putting on these fingerless gloves?
And
It's just one of those things where, like, it's not necessary.
His
So
hands
why
were
does it have to
blistered
be
from
there?
the fall into the wood.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of splinters, you know?
His hands would be broken if we want to get that particular. Falling on his back into wooden stairs at that speed, but I just, yeah. I want to see Thor pop down and be like, hey, I'm here.
What the fuck
happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. Him
This
with
is-
the like rest of the Guardians, and they're, oh my god, if we do get an actual part
Guardians,
few
the
episode,
Guardians are because Iron Man wasn't with them on Titan. They got
but
Oh,
would they have even
true.
gone to Titan though?
Yeah, because Thanos has
Oh.
every stone.
Right.
Yeah,
Assuming-
they have
But
assuming-
wait. How do you have the time stone then?
He took it off Doctor Strange's dead body.
It's not dead, it's a
That's how
zombie.
he got.
Oh, that would have been
turned
that would
into
have
a
been
zombie.
that
That's how he got bit. And
We need a part 2 to this episode. I need to see this shit happen. Oh
I need two more
God.
parts. I need like the end game esque sequel, but then I also just need the events through Thanos' perspective.
Yeah.
I want it to be that he gets bit like a bitch because he goes, I got it, reaches for the time stone, and before he can, Doctor Strange is just like, ah! Just
Right.
takes a chunk
It's like
out.
the scene from Monsters Inc. when the little kid bites Mike Wazowski's finger.
Yeah, basically. But like he's on this like beautiful this beautiful monologue about how Titan was such a perfect Earth, and and like he saw what he had to do, and then Doctor Strange just comes up behind him, bites the finger. Yeah, exactly.
Like, now that it has been brought up, I think I would like this episode better if there was a part 2. I
Yeah.
think there are aspects of it I'd be down with if I knew. Because, like, sorry, go ahead.
Can we just make this its own show?
Well, they're gonna fly to Wakanda, and Zombie Thanos is gonna take the glass stone and turn everyone into zombies, right? Like,
Because that's my other question: is what is his plan now? Like, what's the end goal here? Because why would you?
Hey,
turn
cure
everyone
everyone
into
and
zombies
cure
for
everyone, but
50%.
then kill half of them.
Right. Yeah, you get to reunite with your zombie partner. You're like both like man, I thought I killed you. She's like, nah, I'm good. And then she just dusts again, and you're like, oh, you have to like go through the heartbreak all over again. That'd be so fucked up, but I'm here for it.
Or he just does it in like one swift snap because it hurts his arm. Just like, I want the planet to survive, so let's turn them back, but let's kill half of them, because resources. And
Right.
I'm not smart enough to think of doubling the resources.
Good God, I can't. I think it needs a part 2 because like. However, I did appreciate how violent this was.
Oh yeah,
I was gonna bring that up as well. Yeah,
they didn't
super
hold back.
Okoye cuts Falcon in half.
gory. Yep.
Like,
Steve
just-
gets cut in half.
Also, this is our second confirmation that the Thanos theory would work because we saw Hope do it to Zombie Sharon after we saw Hank do it to Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Give us that what if, Marvel. All right,
No,
have some
give us that
guts.
whatever, Marvel, please. I don't. I got it with Hulk. I don't really.
I'll
want to
fund
see
it. I will.
again.
I want that to be the whole episode.
We also
This is my
got
least
that.
favorite scene in all of What If is the Hulk blowing up.
Yeah, that was fucking disgusting. We
Yup.
also got it with a van too. Like a zombie almost eats the van, and then Happy flips the switch, and it just
Yeah.
pops the zombie. Like, yeah, I love the gore in this episode. Wong getting beheaded right off the bat. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
god, we are on some other shit this week.
No,
Like,
they gave no fucks, and I'm into it.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Hey, remember when you guys all loved watching Thanos be beheaded in Endgame? Well, that can't happen in this one, so we'll behead Wong.
Right. But it's also a cartoon on Disney Plus, and we're going all in with the gore. Like I was all about it.
Yeah, no. it was gory and just dark in general. Again, like going back to what Vision did was holy, because he was like, you don't want to look there. You're not gonna like what you find.
You're not gonna find what you're looking for. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? That's really weird.
I thought the same thing too, and I thought that was a great twist though, to have Vision like kind of be like this spoiled asshole, and like he still really loves like Wanda enough to do that.
And yeah, I know it's animated, but like seeing his face when he's getting darker, I was like, oh, I don't like this. Like this is
It's also Paul Bettany's voice does not lend itself to the words he was saying.
Yeah.
However, my other issue came from how much is he feeding Wanda? Because he said that he hasn't fed her in days, but T'Challa just chilling. Like
probably like enough. He's probably like run the math to be like, okay, I can give her like a piece of T'Challa like every 3 days,
Because he was only amputated up to like his knee, so
up to his knee.
Day 1 you get the foot, and then that lasts maybe 2-3 days, right?
Right.
After that you get the shin, which that's a week at least. That can hold you over for a week easily.
Calf? Or do you think he's filleting T'Challa's shin?
Both sides.
Right.
It's like
Jordan, we've had this conversation a lot. This entire thing is your calf. The top part is your shin. The entire thing is the calf. Because the image I just had, it was him taking a piano wire and just like taking a fillet of T'Challa.
Like it's a deli.
I guess.
He's sprinkling the salt on it. Fucking.
The calf would be like the porterhouse of the human body because it's got 2 different cuts on it.
Right.
He's using the Mind Stone to cauterize the leg, so
a porterhouse is both a fillet and a ribeye.
Thank you. I know that. I don't understand why is Steve Rogers a fillet.
No, the calf, not the cap. The calf is like the porterhouse because it has 2 different cuts. You have the back and the shin.
I was like, what is that that makes him a porterhouse? Like, fuck.
He's just a meaty boy,
Yeah. Also,
sorry, Brett.
Could it be that the rest of Scott's body was fed to Wanda?
Oh, that's a very good point.
Because we don't get a full explanation as to why he's just a Futurama head.
Right.
That's
do they say something about the process with the Mind Stone? Like,
oh yeah, he can't have been because he was a zombie. Vision turned him back.
But Vision it only worked on the head.
And it only did the head, maybe, or something? I don't know.
Well, that's probably what Vision told him. Vision was like, hey, I couldn't save your body. Be thankful you're a jar in the head. Meanwhile, like, Wanda's, like, just feeding on his, like, torso or something like that.
Cut to the cage.
If a zombie eats a zombie?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
That's cannibalism. That's frowned upon.
Yeah, it's cannibalism. Yeah, like other zombies look down on it, but like it's cool.
I like to imagine that if like Wanda's eating just Scott's body, the costume's still on, so she takes one bite and gets really small, takes another bite and gets really big.
Can I just say, Hope bringing in ants to eat off all of the flesh is incredibly clever.
Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah.
Like that was incredibly clever. To just
I didn't even think of that.
If you can manipulate bugs that do that anyway, why not weaponize
Honestly,
them
why
so
the
it
fuck
can
did
just
you only
go
have like
take
3?
Because there were only I think she was just trying to be quick. We were just trying to get Bruce and go. We're not trying to
if she really cared, if she really cared, she would have had 1 billion out by now,
Yeah, but if you put out 1 billion ants are still small and can only eat so much, and like there are a lot of people on the planet. Eventually those ants are going to get overwhelmed or they're just going to get killed through the process. So I feel like it's not a
just
cure,
send them out in droves.
Yeah. It's not a cure. It's just a weapon.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it doesn't make them better. It just makes them skeletons.
Fair enough.
Oh, God.
I might rewatch this one and see if my opinion on it changes. I still think it was just weirdly paced and I couldn't tell what they were trying to do is what bothered me. But moment to moment I liked. And
yeah. Go through with the perspective that lots of sexual tension between Hope and Spider too.
Is this like when you have to read Hamlet with the perspective that he wants to fuck his mom? Is it the same thing?
He doesn't want to fuck his mom.
I'm not saying he does. I'm saying some people will tell you to read it with that lens.
I agree. I'm allowed to say this. He doesn't want to fuck his mom. I'd write a fucking paper on this. Like, he doesn't want to fuck his mother. That's not what's happening. I hate
I'm
that
sorry.
fucking argument. It makes me very angry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Brett. Did you have something to say?
Oh, I was gonna say, I really like the Peter like monologue about like kind of like trying to continue on and like this kind of like insane adversity.
Yeah.
That was really sweet because it was like, yeah, why would you like keep going if like everything is literally gone to shit,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, no, that was awesome. All the Spider-Man stuff in this episode was like 10 out of 10 for me,
Yeah.
especially like him getting the cape, all the like back and forth, and the pairing with the different characters was all fantastic, and I thought like very, very well done and very smart. Just yeah, my only problem, the look
Yeah.
of him. Like, why so much time without the mask? Just put the mask on.
That's the other thing. It's
More
not
of that.
like if
Your
you weren't
identity
gonna make
doesn't
him
matter anymore.
if you weren't
But-
gonna make him look like Tom
Yeah.
Holland, because the reason why in every Spider-Man movie there's always a climactic scene where his mask is ripped off is because these actors have it that like, hey, I need to show my face, like I need to be recognizable. This doesn't look like anyone. It's a cartoon. Just keep the mask on.
Exactly. Not even like a hidden identity thing. Just like cover up that fucking ugly.
He even
face,
says the
y'all
more
drew.
skin you're showing, the more at risk you are.
Yeah, but how protective is his costume versus some other people's? Like,
True.
I feel like you could bite through his pretty easy.
Also, super weird that Happy was featured in the bit about wearing long sleeve T-shirts, and then in this train station wearing a short sleeve T-shirt. Like, Happy, you literally did that part of the video, dude. Like, wear a sweatshirt, dog.
Where
Like,
can I get
come on.
that shirt that says "I'm not single, I'm saving myself for Thor"?
Yo, if we, which I like, because that might be that I took as a reference to him dating Aunt May. So maybe like there's some like flirtation early on before Far From Home. But yeah, if Marvel doesn't make it, we make it, Jordan, and we sell it, and we
See,
rack in some money, dude.
I just like the implication that somewhere on a New York City street corner, someone is selling that T-shirt.
I'm willing to bet you $20 that if I Google "I'm not single, I'm saving myself for Thor" T-shirt, there will be 100 Etsy shops that sell this T-shirt. I'm doing
That
it
or
right now because
Redbubble.
or Red something has "I'm not single, I'm saving myself for Thor." Single.
I'm just saying, Waypoint meetup, we all get our I'm single, single and saving myself for Thor T-shirt.
What if we actually get them personalized so everybody has a different Avenger?
Oh, that's great. Uh-oh.
So the first thing that comes up is a "I'm not single, I'm saving myself for Thor" T-shirt from Etsy. Let me
I
see if
got
can see.
Motif.
What?
I got a website called Motif.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Oh, can I say also T'Challa when they're
Oh
flying
no,
to
no,
Wakanda?
but sorry to interrupt, Brett. These were made 4 hours ago.
Wait,
Like
They're on
the
it.
screen's white. I can't tell you what that
like
is.
when I'm on these different websites, it's like, oh, posted 9 hours ago. Like now every website has them because, you know.
Yeah, no, that's
Oh.
why I said Etsy, because everything's on fucking Etsy.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Brett, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say T'Challa, like when they're flying to Wakanda and saying that's not the end and all that. It was just
Yeah, like
that
that
extra
fucked me
layer
up.
with Chad.
Yeah.
It was just little tears flowing.
Exactly. Like I thought his send off was definitely going to be that Guardians episode, and so to have him back here was
got
like,
To have him back
got
here
two
and then
more.
to just somehow have that line in there
yeah,
at the
that
like
was
the last line. Yeah.
fantastic.
He's got
Oh, yeah.
two
Last
more
line.
appearances.
His last line was about like death not being the end and that people are always with you.
Oh, yes, he says in my culture that death.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He does have 2 more appearances. Brett is right.
Yeah. And I think one of them is going to be when everything crosses over because we've seen him in that circle.
Right. Right.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
Because we still have the fucking King Killmonger episode coming somewhere in here.
King Killmonger, Party Thor,
We have King
Gamora,
Killmonger, Party Thor, and
Gamora, daughter
Ultron.
of Thanos. And then
Well, we
Ultron.
don't know if that appears somewhere else.
True. So we know at least 3 and there's 4 left.
Yeah,
Right.
because one has to be Ultron Vision and one has to be
King
fucking
Killmonger.
King Killmonger and then Party Thor.
So it might be that those are the 3 and then the last one is stuff coming together.
Right.
I'm still really stuck on that it wasn't even a question this week. It was just like zombies.
What if
I
zombies?
can't stop. Like, I've been stuck on this for like over 24 hours.
What if
That it's just,
zombies?
like, yeah. I was like, come on, you guys had that stupid ass question last week of what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? You couldn't come up with something?
Yeah, something poetic. What if everyone loves eating brains, you know? And you're like, okay, this is the zombie episode, y'all.
Lord.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts on the episode?
Best one so far. Sorry, Brett. Go ahead.
Do we think John Walker is a zombie, or did he say?
I hope so.
after?
Statistically speaking, I would assume.
Yeah.
I would
I'd-
assume that they're all dead.
I'm gonna say he's still a soldier overseas fighting the war, and like on his worst day that he references like several times throughout the show, like that's the zombie day, like where all his squad mates become
Or-
zombies, but then they
Did
eat
we-
them.
Am I dumb? Did we get an answer to what he did that fucked him up so much yet?
Nope.
Okay.
Mentally?
Yes, because John talks a bunch about, welcome back to Falcon and Winter
There's
Soldier Media Club, but John Walker talks a lot about, like,
His worst
why
day.
he got the certain medals he got and his worst
I'm-
day and, like, what it is, and I didn't, did we get an answer?
Have you seen American Sniper? It's that.
I shot a kid.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's any comics canon, but I'm assuming it's just some mission where, like, you know, he went in with his squad and, you know, he
was the only one that came out, yeah.
He lost
Right.
a lot
Yeah.
of people.
I just couldn't remember if we had an answer.
But he still
good
like
to
was
know.
able to get the job done or something, and you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Like that.
And so the government went, here's a Purple Heart. Bye.
And that's where
See
they
you-
should have
see you next
stopped
time.
handing him stuff, but instead they gave him a shield and a fucking costume.
And
I
a
wanna
god
see
complex.
The people who failed the search, because it wasn't just just John. They went and looked at other who failed. What psychopaths fail? I feel like if you failed, you should be kicked out of the army. Because we should just be concerned about other things.
You know what I want is like an American Idol style like audition process with like the president, the like Secretary of Defense, and somebody that like I don't know, like maybe like Coulson, because he's like a Captain America super fan, just like sitting at a table just watching these people's auditions.
And then Michael Pena comes up and he's like, "Here's why I should be the new Captain America." And then like bongos start playing, and he like gives this like long convoluted story.
I love that. But we've gone
Okay, I
so
won't
off track.
Completely derail things.
No,
I
it's
love
fine.
it though.
I don't know if we have anything left to say about the zombie episode.
Oh, I wanted to say one quick thing about
Yeah.
last week since I wasn't on the episode. I really liked it. It might be my favorite episode so far, just because the message of like after like the hero's great trial, like the fight isn't over yet. Like we think just based off of stories and media, like oh you know like Iron Man overcame Ironmonger, he's good now, on and on. But like the fact that like that battle is still like within you always, like I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, that was a good analysis of it, actually. Like, I didn't think of it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were not that eloquent last week.
No. You're just like, damn, this was dark for Marvel.
Yeah,
It
I'm pretty
was.
sure we got stuck on how dark it was. I just was excited because I love Doctor Strange is one of my faves. That's
You know what
pretty
I-
much the whole podcast.
Right.
You know what I mean though? Like it's not like you like conquer something, then oh it's done now. Bye. Like
Yeah.
especially someone like him who like is so
Mhm.
arrogant and stuff. Like
Right.
I like that.
Yeah. No, we would have if I was on, we would have got caught up on like how ridiculous it was that like Rachel died like 50 times in like the span of 2 minutes. Like no matter what, like always just like get the like comes around to her dying.
Mhm.
I thought that was like that cracked me up because it's just like so focused.
It was
on
like
for,
her equivalent of
4
like
minutes.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
Exactly.
But hers is worse.
Yeah.
Worse, and she didn't do it by choice.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. However, I did enjoy. I had the thought that I didn't say last week, but I will say now. When you gave her the keys and you guys still crashed and she still died, maybe just accept that this was meant to be and move on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he was like, "Oh, I'll switch seats, right? Then I'll be the one that." Nope, physics did.
No, when you have that moment, just accept that if you don't like, have you seen Final Fantasy or not Final Fantasy?
Final Destination.
Fine.
Final Destination. Like, get your shit together. You know, death is just gonna come for her later. Just
When you leave her at home and her whole building catches on fire,
exactly.
like you got a problem, dude. You can't get out of this, dog.
You
Like,
stand
give
her
up.
up. You're not even in the car. And the building blows up.
What happened? Wait, what happened in the circumstance where he tried to like convince her to stay home, or that she just didn't fall
They
for
went
it,
to
right?
pizza, and a guy came into the pizza
Yes,
place and
and
robbed it and shot
it
her in the
up.
back of the head. For like no reason either. She's not doing anything.
She's not
shit-
stopping him. Yeah,
She's just sitting, and he's just like,
he just
I'm gonna
walked
take out the
in
blonde
when.
lady real quick.
Yeah, let me shoot her. Okay, money. They're like, why?
Money, please.
It did bring up. It did bring up like just another cool wrinkle about like how time works from MCU.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Point. I was like, oh, cool.
Mhm.
And I
Another-
poke
that's
fun
awesome.
at it, but Doctor Strange can never stop doing anything. It doesn't matter how many times you show him that it's gotta happen. He,
Yeah.
just isn't that kind of guy.
And the good one loses is like I was like, oh no, I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, that made me sad. I was very upset about that.
Good guys don't
And
always
I
win.
was upset that the ancient one died too.
She was
I know.
supposed. She died in the movie.
Yes, but her death in the movie is so beautiful, and like they have that great moment out on the balcony with the rain, and she talks about how like she's accepted that this is just like part of what being human and being something that exists is, and it's like this beautiful, peaceful moment. This is some fucking weirdo with a lizard in his chest. Well, I don't know if he has the lizard in his chest yet, but with the fucking monsters in his chest is like, sorry, dude, I want a bone. Bye.
The
Like,
power
I
of
don't know.
boners is strong.
Yeah, like her death wasn't as fitting last week.
Well,
Man, spoilers for Doctor Strange. I haven't seen it yet.
What I hate is that I don't know if you're serious because I know you don't. You
I-
haven't watched everything.
I'm 100% serious. I'm just saying that to get a breath.
oh, have you really not watched Doctor Strange?
I haven't seen Doctor Strange or First Avenger. Those are the only two Marvel movies I'm missing.
Honestly, to be fair, you don't really need them.
Right?
Hey.
I watched last week's episode and I was like, I'm perfectly fine without seeing this movie. Like, I'm good. And
Doctor
same with the
Strange
first
is-
episode.
Doctor Strange is number 3 on my list of Marvel movies. I love that movie, but you can survive in the MCU not having seen it.
And I think I'll try to go as long as I can without
And
seeing
now
it.
What If has given him the gist of what he needed. He crashed
Basically.
his car, got fucked up, his hands.
But do you plan on seeing Multiverse of Madness?
I do. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I still don't think he necessarily needs to watch Doctor Strange.
He has no idea who
I
Mordo
think-
is.
Wasn't Mordo in a post-credit scene recently, or am I
No, he was in Doctor
imagining
Strange's post-credit scene.
Interesting.
On that
Interesting.
note.
I had Greg Miller explain the plot of Doctor Strange to me, so I'm good.
Beautiful. Alrighty, guys. Well, we will be back next week for who knows what episode. Hopefully next week it's an actual sentence. Everyone's socials will be in the description down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We will see you next time. Bye.